Hey guys, welcome to the Men's Conference episode 8. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Men's Conference Podcast. I'm your host, DC, the Legend of Awesomeness, and make sure to subscribe. This episode is actually brought to you by Bongo Bongo. Make sure to actually click the link in our description below, that is Men's Conference, and play some awesome games from Bongo Bongo. That is Aviator or Candy Crush, and you can definitely win some cash from there by playing any games from Aviator and Candy Crush. So like our page, that is Men's Conference Podcast on Facebook, and follow us on TikTok as well. So I got my two main hosts as usual, that is Laz and that ranting guy.
Hola.
And we have two guests in the building. Please introduce yourself. I bet people would definitely be excited.
Ladies first.
Yeah.
Why is it ladies first?
I knew she was going to say something. That's why I said
ladies first?
Why not?
Why not ladies first?
This is your
We're trying to be
space right
gentlemen.
now. You
Yes,
always,
but we're
you
gentlemen.
always want recognition for things.
But we're
Today,
gentlemen.
I'm on your turf. I'm in your space.
Uh-huh.
It's your opportunity. It's the right time for you to go first.
Do you see that feminists are not fair people?
No.
When we give them respect, why are you respecting me all over the sudden?
No, I try to be
I'm
gentleman
just
here.
saying you like things done your way.
No,
so-
it's not that.
Okay, fine. My name is Stu. Everybody calls me Stu. The Z feminist. I'm female, Cancer, over 30. No children, no husband that I know of. I'm so happy to be here
Fantastic.
with the men.
Fantastic. And we're happy that you are here.
Testosterone.
Oh, okay.
Give it to me. I'm ready.
Don't worry. No violence whatsoever. We're just all
Okay.
cool.
Good.
What's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Hey, what's
my
up?
name is Fubwe Matambo on Facebook, Baba T on Twitter, Mr. Mandevu, the guy who sells beardo products, above 30. I'm a Cancer too, by the way.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and I hope we have a good time.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have a good time, bro. So, yeah, I mean, Laz, how you doing, man? You've been quiet, man.
I'm doing well, thanks, man. And I'm glad to be here. And, to represent all the men out there who are going through troubles like relationships, health, mental state, financial crisis. DC ranting guy, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, of
We're
course.
here to make men great
yeah.
again. And I'm also curious as well to find out the views of our two guests here today. Are they with us or against us?
Yeah, I would love to know.
You didn't say your star sign.
That's it.
Nice,
It's a
okay.
new thing.
That ranting guy.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Karas, that ranting guy, public enemy number one. Try to be. Very much excited about today's episode. I don't know, there's just something in the air that tells me it's all doom and gloom for today. But
Exactly.
it could be rainbows and flowers by the end of this show. I don't know. But I look forward to seeing things pan out as they will. I think there's nothing much for me to say.
Okay.
I'm just geared for the episode. Otherwise, hi everyone.
For those people that actually don't know me, but of course you know me, I'm DC. Of course, the Legend of Awesomeness right here. Yeah,
Oh my
I'll keep
God,
my star sign secret because, some star signs like to clash a bit. People might judge you.
That's some Scorpio energy.
No.
Ati Scorpio energy.
No, but how has been your week, your days, and so forth? I would go with Zambian feminist, females first.
My week has been crazy. My month has been crazy. I think one thing people don't know about me is that I actually manage an artist.
Oh, okay.
So, and my artist is a Kopala artist.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm learning quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in this space with all these men. I swear Copperbelt is like another town. It's another country on its own.
Yeah.
So I've been learning a lot about that. Just trying to get the hustle. I finally understand why it's called Tamanga, because
Yeah.
you run around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've just been on that grind, suffering, hoping for better, looking for more money.
Of course, money is important.
Yeah, I'm curious. why don't you give a shout out to your artist? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is a platform, yeah? Oh, you don't want? The secret?
No. and then it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, we're not going to force it out of you.
Okay. Yeah, no. Then everyone will be like,
Okay, no.
But it'll come out soon anyway.
Hey.
Everybody sees us everywhere together. They just think
really?
other things. Yeah. Shout out J-Max.
Oh, J-Max. J-Max.
Why did you say that?
Jamudi.
Come on.
No. What's up?
I mean, come on. J-Max. Why did you do that?
You see? That's why I didn't want to say.
No, he's a dope artist.
Yeah, no, he is dope,
That
actually.
guy. Shout out to J-Max. I hope you're recording. People are waiting for that album. Don't let me get there. And
That's dope.
Can't wait.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
Bro.
yeah.
Mr. Fubwe.
My week has been okay.
And just mic close.
It's okay. My week has been a bit pathetic because I started off with a few hiccups. Tamanga, business-wise, delays in delivering certain things, clients trying to eat you up. So, pause. But I'm sure you get it. So it started off hectic. So I'm just hoping this will just give a different direction and different flow. See how the week is going to end.
But what are your thoughts on like the men's conference? What have you seen that would?
We're doing the right thing, right? You
Yeah.
agree with us,
Yeah,
right?
man. Yeah, man. When I got the call, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
People actually value my opinions and what I have to say on certain things. So I really like what you guys are doing. I'm one of those people who believe that men are not getting the desired attention in order to mature and grow into responsible citizens.
Yeah.
Protectors.
Yeah.
Protectors of the other gender.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just really great with what you guys are doing, and I'm hoping that I can come through and contribute a whole lot more.
Awesome. Zambian feminist. I'm sure you're excited.
I'm laughing. Like, I'm one of those faces that when somebody says something, I just can't pretend. So when he started talking, I was like,
okay.
Are we getting into that already? I feel like there's some conversations we need to have. I personally appreciate men's conference and what you're trying to do.
Thank you.
I feel like when it started, it was almost like a bash at current, even like feminist movements. And there's always that conversation that women are getting a lot of attention and not the men, or the boy child has been neglected.
Yeah.
It's all those conversations. I feel like it's important to have a space where men can be able to talk about things, express themselves, and also like just really break them down and try to see what you guys can get, because most of the time I feel like male conversations are usually led by peer pressure. If there's that one person who doesn't like something, all of a sudden people be like, yeah, it's not cool. But if you are given the opportunity to actually sit down and express yourself, if it's got nothing to do with bashing women, I am all for it. I love my men. I want my men to flourish. If you're happy personally, you're happy for me physically and emotionally. So who am I to say no to some good male healing?
You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I feel like it's the same even with women. Sorry, guys, I think we've gotten into it already. But I think it's the same because women too tend to have a follow the leader mentality, especially opinions on social media. Like, you have people saying things, people people you grew up with, and then when they jump online, it's a whole different personality, and it's because they are following a leader. Maybe they're following Maza's page, the Zambian feminist or something.
Yeah.
So they're borrowing a voice from somebody else. But I think it's normal.
Yeah.
And I think it's normal. But yeah, it's important to have such platforms to just come, break bread, and find a way forward.
Yeah, I mean, the men's conference is actually a voice for all men out there. It's not like we're against females. It's what we have a problem on certain things, but we love women. Honestly, I do love women, but we just want to hear the side on a woman's, we want to hear what a woman has to say on the platform. This is why we decided, let's have the Z feminist.
Have you had other women here?
Last week.
Oh, damn, I was thinking to be the first one.
Yeah, we did. It was interesting, but we definitely also want to hear what you have to say. So we have a topic, right? Pretty important and fantastic and awesome, I should say. Many people have been coming to my inbox asking me, admin, how do I spot a woman cheating? I have no idea. I'm completely blank, So I'd love to hear. I don't know if you're going to snitch. You're going to tell us,
Maybe let me
the
go
secrets.
first.
Please.
I've brought the tea.
Yeah, because I feel
I've brought the tea.
I feel like her tea. Once she spills her tea, there'll be nothing else to say afterwards.
Okay.
So maybe I just have to.
How do you
to go
catch a
first.
woman cheating?
I don't really catch. How do you know?
How do
Yes,
you
but,
know?
Aleangalo.
First of all, a woman cheating is like a Black Panther. You've heard about them, but do you really see them?
No, they're very stealthy. That's what I know.
They see you, you don't see them.
You don't see them.
I mean, like I can personally say, if you're a woman and you're caught cheating, I'm disappointed in you. You need to do better and get your act right. You are embarrassing the entire gender. Having said that, how do you know if a woman is cheating? I think the first question I would like to ask is, do you think women like men, because men cheat because they want to anyhow, do you think women cheat because they want to, or they cheat because a man has led them to cheat?
There's no such thing.
But I have something to say, because I think the reason why women cheat is because maybe one attribute that one man possesses another man has. Like, let's say the person she's currently dating isn't masculine enough. So besides, women are not really good at telling men what they hate and what they don't, what they like as well. So apparently they'll just keep quiet until maybe, and women are social creatures, maybe it could be in the workplace, it could be maybe she's walking down the street, some guy, approaches her and tells her how she looks in terms of beauty, tries to, and she's like, my man doesn't tell me this. So eventually down the line, as he doesn't realize that his masculine frame isn't enough to keep her in, so eventually she's going to like, you know what, the person that keeps courting me is more masculine than the man back home. So eventually she's going to cheat. That's what I think.
But don't you think that women are, when it comes to looks, women do not focus on looks or appearance as much as men do?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
We don't. So if I'm with a man and I've accepted him for his height, his color, and his style, I have accepted him. Men, on the other hand, you guys go looking for something better all the time.
Women do also look for something better all the
We
time. I
don't.
would actually say women, I'm sorry to say this, but in my own analysis, which I have studied thoroughly, I have come to understand that women are the ones that always think the grass is greener on the other side. What you've said about if maybe the man's masculine frame is not strong enough, that's when maybe she'll step out of the relationship. That was true back in 1987. In 2023, things are different. You understand? Chicks will cheat on their boyfriend just because the other guy has a new Jordan. You understand?
The trivialization.
In today's time, majority of the people, okay, let's just say our generation, okay, we are born without. Majority of us didn't grow up in a household where you had both parents. Majority of us, if you ask even amongst your friends, you find it's both parents are not there, or maybe one. Okay, so there are girls out there I've met that, look, she's broken. You can be the best that you can be as a man. You can have all that masculine frame, but bruh, she's gonna step out either way. Why? We're in an era now where people can do whatever they want.
So wait, so what you're saying is if I'm opposite of being masculine, then there's a chance.
No. Yeah, look, you being masculine could reduce the chances of her stepping out of your relationship, but that is not a guarantee that she's not going to step out. You dig?
I'd like to hear what he was about to say something.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, so just what you said what he said is actually like given perspective to what I was going to say. To say like, I think we're at a time where things have changed. I feel like there's no rule book anymore.
No, there is not.
Like you said, man, like women are at a point where they, first of all, most women, a lot of women want to prove that they can do what a man can do.
Exactly.
Just because a man can do it, they also want to do it. So, like you said, it's at times it can have nothing to do with you, my guy.
But can
in most cases, it's got nothing to do with the guy. A person will go, even when it comes to like, when you flip the scenario, a man goes to cheat. Sometimes it's got nothing to do with his girl. That's just how he is. So even now, like you said, the modern era, we also have women like that. And I say this because the other day, just this week, I think 3 days ago, I saw a tweet from a girl. She just said, I've come to a point where I can't be in a relationship because I feel like I'm gonna be unfaithful. Why am I gonna be unfaithful? Because that's just what I am. Okay, she said a whole lot of stuff. I don't know if you saw that tweet, but what she was basically saying is she was bringing light to the fact that times have changed. Women too are just doing things just because they can.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
I feel like, first of all, when you look at relationships and conversations about relationships in Zambia, I feel like men are still using a very outdated playbook to describe what women are, what womanhood is, and what cheating entails, and what the role of a woman in relationships is. Everything has changed and everything has evolved, but we still have the same narratives being used to define what womanhood is and why women are cheating. For instance, the whole thing, it's because of his physicality, or B, because we want a lot of money, or maybe because women are very materialistic. We always want men to give us things. But then I always tell people, first of all, you always need to date in your tax bracket. The problem is that men have a thing where instead of being man enough and facing women their age, you guys are cowards. You'd rather go and date somebody who is below the age of 28. Somebody who does not even understand your vocabulary, and somebody who you cannot even provide the things that she's demanding for. That's where you go. And when those small girls burn you and embarrass you and call you uncle, and then you're coming back to us, the only reason that we don't want you guys, our age mates, is because we know what kind of failures some of the men might be. So you can't lie to us about certain things in your life, because I believe that as a woman, I have worked my butt out to get where I am and to compete at the same level as a man. So all those excuses men used to have for what materialistic, that's been kicked out. We're gold diggers. Ain't nobody, I'm not a gold digger. I can come for a date and I can pay for my own bill. I have my own house, I have my own car. I do all that. So at the end of the day, for me, I'm solid. So now you're looking for different reasons as to why women are being problematic. And that's where the problem is. You don't want to be in your own tax bracket. If we want to have a conversation of why are women cheating, then let's talk about it at this age group, at our level.
But can I ask you a question? Do you think men and women are the same?
Men and women are the same.
Okay.
How is that?
The only differences for me is biological capabilities. But what a man can do, a woman can do.
I
Can I run it back?
Fubwe wants to say something. Let him say
Can
something.
I just run back on what you just said? Like, the reason why you're saying that it's outdated or where let me run it back. You're talking about us dating people younger than 28. But if I was to tell you that whilst I'm sure I don't have to go to the same school as every guy, but every guy will agree. When we're in high school,
they used to come with
high
taxi
school girls
drivers,
never
man.
used to date us. High school girls would date above. Like that mindset was fed to us from the time we're as far back as high school. So once we come into society, why then should we start looking at people our age? If people our age, if we know what people our age were, who they were linking up with when we were in high school.
The very few 5 girls from your high school.
No. You know
I went to high school. Ain't nobody in my high school be hooking up with a taxi driver.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
But men, what were you doing when we were in high school? Boys, what were you doing?
Studying.
We did?
Studying.
We never even got a chance to even get a girl in high
I know
school.
most men break their virginities come at 21 years old.
A girl would have broken her virginity at 16
So you see
at that time.
At that time.
Yeah, but here's what I'm going to say. First of all, let me take you back from what you said in the reasoning of we are trying to find excuses as guys and our thought line is outdated. First of all, even though our thought line is outdated, at least what was happening in the past worked compared to today. You may say things have evolved, then we are devolving. We should be improving on what was in the past. But things haven't improved. Sure, women have rights. Women are at liberty now. Women can have jobs. They can go clubbing. All that fine.
Which is amazing.
Sure. But guess what? It has distorted the family. Kids these days, I've seen a girl bring a kid to the club, her kid, dumping her kid with her mother just because she wants to club. That's your kids. That's your responsibility.
But wait, you're saying that back in the day. Do you think that these things never happened back in the day?
No, they did. But here's the thing. I'm speaking in general.
women are finally able to speak about their experiences in a public setting. That's what makes you feel threatened.
No.
Now.
There is no such thing as a threaten.
Yes.
That's the thing. There's always this. First of all, there is no need for me to be threatened by a female. One, she's not in the same ring with me. Okay, I'm battling against men here.
Exactly.
That are actual challenges.
Yeah.
A woman is not going to challenge me in a ring. What am I going to fight a woman over for?
Why?
I mean, what's the point of even fighting with a woman?
That's what I'm saying.
We're supposed to come together.
Exactly.
To
Here's the
work
thing.
on
This
a
is not.
certain
Yeah.
purpose.
You only want to come together on things that benefit men.
No,
as well.
that is.
No.
Let me
You are
explain.
trying to make us hold on to these old-fashioned, old-school narratives that worked for your
Which
parents.
is working against you.
But it's not working against
At the
us.
end of the day, let's face it. At the end of the day, women have more to lose compared to men. We've always said, no, hold on a second, I'm coming. I'm still cooking. Here's the situation that you must understand. As a dude, you are spreading this to women, telling them, oh no, what a man can do, you too can do it. But here's where you don't, feminists be lying to females. And this is where they don't tell them. Like, look, we are getting older. There'll come a time you won't want to be by yourself alone. But you see, no, here's the situation. It sounds funny right now.
That is scary. The
Look,
thought of being alone.
yes, it is. Let me tell you something. Right now, there'll come a time your friends are still around. You can still go out. You can hang out. You can still be entertained. You come in here on this podcast. There'll come a time when you are 50. You can't do that. You can't go out. Why? Because you're too old. You're competing with girls that are in their 20s. First of all, who wants to see a grandma in the club? Secondly, you understand. Here's the situation. Some of your friends would have been having kids at that time. You tell, hey, girlfriend, we should go out. And I can't. You see, my daughter will be chakuti. They're busy. Now you're by yourself. Now this is where I'm getting at, okay? I lost my train of thought there, sorry. But here's where I'm getting at. Feminists be telling women that we are the same. But the end of result, majority of women that drank the feminist juice, especially the neo-Nazi feminists of today, because feminism in the 70s was different. It was about, hey, women should also be allowed to go to school, get a career. That was fine. But today, it's Vela. If you can sleep around, you too can do that. Okay, sure, fine, good for you. But at the end of the day, women may control sex, the access to sex. Everybody knows this. But women cannot control marriage. In as much as we frown upon marriage, let's face it, it has its benefits. First of all, we were talking about kids growing up without parents. Both parents. Believe me, every child wants to grow up in a house where you have both at the same time. Now, marriage is not always dun to the wedding. You may have both parents living in the same house. That's fine. But guess what? When you're telling women, in as much as you try to say, oh, men with your old concept, a guy will not want to wed or to be seen with a woman that's been passed around like a buffet. Okay? That's just simple as pie. I will not go around with a girl knowing the whole world has had her. You know why? Because as a man, I always want to be respected. And immediately I roll with a chick that everybody has had. The respect that I've been trying to hold as a guy for, which I've been working on from the beginning, from the day I was born, is thrown out the window. No one would trust. Look, if our president, let's say if our president was married, our first lady was a former hooker. Do you think the people of this country would respect our president? They'll be like, oh, what is he saying? After all, your wife is a hooker. You understand?
Sorry.
Can I say something? Because I feel like
wait.
that was directly...
No.
Yeah.
Can I, first of all...
Okay, you can say something.
Yeah, before you
but-
come in, my brother, Peter
But
Tosh.
this is not directly at you.
It
This is just a
it is.
generalization
No,
of what's
listen.
happening.
It's not.
Then let me talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me talk.
Go ahead.
First of all, thank you for bringing me on this podcast.
You're welcome.
Second of all, everything. What's your name? The ranter.
The ranting guy.
You can call me Kara.
The rant was very unnecessary. First of all, second, it was misplaced because what I can say first of all is that you have got a very weird way of viewing women and women's space in society. Second of all, I don't think you understand what feminism is because you're talking about women being lied to. Feminism is not just for women, it's also for men. We have a lot of men who are feminists. So if you do not subscribe to that,
Oh, we know
it's
the
good
male
on you.
feminists.
But now, my point is that I think you're putting all this burden, all this unnecessary burden on women, and you're trying to find ways in which you still feel that women have a certain role that has evolved, unfortunately, and you're not happy with the direction that it's going. The first thing you talked about is women being lonely. It's going to come an age when I'm going to be 50, I'm going to be lonely. Like, that is something that is not going to scare anybody anymore. Being 50 and alone, being alone does not mean you're lonely. There's so much that's happening. The world is so big. There's so much that women
Netflix?
can do. I watch Netflix now in my 30s. I'll probably watch it in my 50s. It does not make me feel like a bad person. Or it does not
I
make
watch
me,
Netflix
it does
too,
not
yes.
make, let me talk. It does not make me feel less than. If you're talking about how women, the need to get married and attached, feminism tells women to make their choice whether you want to be with a man or you want to be single or you want to be in a relationship. It's a full buffet. You can choose what you want. So there are people who are feminists like me who are over 35. Unfortunately, we have not settled. We do not say that women should not get married. You should get married if you find the right person that works for you and supports you. That's what it's about. It's not just picking up any man on the street just because he's a man with a spouse. And these are the same men who are very problematic, who bring all these unnecessary notions even in our houses. It makes women look weaker. So for me, what I'm trying to say is that I think your notion on feminism is misplaced. One, and second, do not blame women for the problems that are being experienced in their houses, because back in the day, women were not able to speak out. There are a lot of problems that women have gone through even in this country. All of us, you keep talking about family, all of us, if you go through your own family history, you're going to find an uncle, you're going to find an auntie in your family who does not even come from your maternal grandmother. That is the truth. But then back in the day, women were told, oh, this thing happens to you, just sit on it, it's okay. Right now, the world is easier because women are finally able to express themselves. 10, 15 years ago, I would not be on this podcast as a woman talking about my role in society. Why? It's because you guys did not give us these spaces. And finally, we're able to talk. And finally, you realize that women are just as empowered and entitled as men. That's where the problem is. You do not want to share the cake. You do not want to share the pie. You feel like women getting more rights means that you get less rights, but it's not even like that. So I think you need to check the playbook again, my friend.
I'll let Fubwe speak because I'll come back to reply to that.
So I just wanted to speak on what your contribution is. Very, very heartfelt contribution. Yeah, so I wanted to ask, don't you think though, in as much as your efforts may be for positivity, don't you think that along the way, the plot gets lost? Don't you think that along the way, women are misled? Because there are some women, by the culture that you push, like
what's our culture?
The feminism.
Which one?
Feminism itself. Feminism.
Because one of the things that we fight as feminists is the influence of culture on womanhood. And because our culture, which by the way, I'm a firm supporter, you'll never find me anywhere without anything cultural on me.
Okay, so let me give an example.
But my point is that is one of the things that feminists are fighting for. You men might not realize, but a lot of our cultural limitations are set on women and not men. You guys are able to just start and fight for your space now, but I have to start by fighting for my space in the home. I have to start by fighting for my space in the club. I have to start by fighting for my space in the office. So there are a lot of things that we are fighting for as well as women. And that's why at the end of the day, it's much more easier for men to just point a finger than actually understand where we're coming from.
Okay, so when I said on the misleading part, so okay, you said you believe what a man can do, a man can do, a woman can do.
Yeah.
So how about when it comes to certain topics, like let's say a woman will say what a man can do, a woman can do. At the same time, will say, but a man is the provider. Don't you think that's contradictory?
If you follow my content, you actually see that I bring that out. One of the things I'm passionate about, I was on a podcast a few months ago. I was talking to younger women. One of the things I talked about is why is it that women expect the princess treatment from men when we are not pulling our weight? If you follow my content, I always actually do bring back anything that's problematic from the woman's side has to be highlighted because it's all about accountability at the end of the day.
That's great. Accountability. I think that's what makes a lot of men uncomfortable when you bring this topic, is because we are the ones who experience these double standards. We are the ones who are like, okay, wait, she can do that. Okay, I can't do that. She can do that. You know, it's these things that have us having all these questions. You know, bring ourselves together and just having this discussion to say like, what exactly? Because at the end of the day, you can't lie that there's some women who mislead fellow women. A lot of women, a lot of the time. So that's the accountability that at least
But
we
they're
ask for.
always but do you guys agree that the women who actually speak about certain things are the minority in the
But they're
country?
the loudest with the
But
largest
then,
following
yes,
majority of the
exactly.
time.
No, yes, but if we are the minority, don't you think that for them to be
Yeah,
heard,
but
they have to be loud?
Look, here's the thing, all right?
It makes
I
you
gave you
uncomfortable.
no, it's not that. It's not anything to do with uncomfortability. You know, feminists have had this perception that a man's life, the fact that he could do all these things,
Yes.
life must have been so easy for him.
Or wait, was he sleeping with someone?
Yeah, no. Hold on a
No,
second.
I'm asking just so that we guide it while you enter that point. For a man, women usually assume that his life was easy. For me as a woman, it's usually she slept her way to the top. So let's start from there and let's build up.
For that one, I won't get into that one now because I want to stress this point. Okay, there's this notion that men, simply because men had this freedom to do almost anything they wanted that women couldn't, meaning a man's life is super easy. What feminists haven't told the women is this, that despite men having all these channels on how they can do things, they still get to bear the responsibilities at the end of the day. Okay? It's like this. I have power, yes, for sure. But immediately I mess up, it's raining down on me. We've seen ladies commit crimes that a man, if he had committed, he's definitely getting arrested. But you see, look at this. Even when it comes to prison sentences, women, you and me could commit the same crime. You will get a lesser charge than I do, Feminism is like, equality, but already there, it's not equal if we did the same crime and then you get a lesser charge because you're female and I get 5 years where you get 3. You understand? Now,
is it the female's problem or the system?
No, it is a system. But look, if we were to put it, yes, but if we were, here's the thing. But if we were to say, let's go all in 100%, 50-50 here, I don't think women would be happy. Because if we were to say, like, look, all right, back when the police officers, let's say in Zambia, when you're getting arrested, they slap you a little bit. Women are never hit. You understand? Majority of the times when you do something, they'll just carry on, she's a lady. But if we were to go 50-50, women should accept, like, look, if you want 50-50 of the good things that men have had to access, you should also be ready to access the negative things men face. Like longer prison sentences. Women don't want that.
But that's what we say. I personally say that.
If Zambia were to go to war, are you sure where you are, you would be ready?
I'm pretty sure we have a lot of women in uniform.
They are, but here's the
we have.
No, we're not saying they're not
Let's
there.
like, what do you mean? Like,
What I mean, look,
you
okay,
think
let's.
they're just
Okay,
singing the
no.
choir?
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm telling you. Here's this. Okay, even just in terms of recruitment. Okay, let's look at just military recruitment. If they put out an ad, you can now join the military. Most women, I don't think even you have thought so much of saying, I want to go.
Don't even give that example.
No. Here it is.
Wait, because there are a lot of problems when it comes to recruitment of women in the force, in the army.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of limitations. Last time there was even an argument and conversation of how women with children were not even being encouraged to apply. You find that there are a lot of limitations that stop women from actually getting into the army as compared to men.
Yes, okay. Those I can actually agree. Okay, in terms of the limitations stem from somewhere, not just because...
Okay, give me a more practical example.
Okay, let me tell you why the limitations...
Not army, things that are a little far-fetched. Like, give me something that is affecting you now and with me, so that we can then gauge together.
Okay, all right. Let's look at something that you said. Let's look at the issue in terms of. I received a message that was 1444, right, by GRZ. They sent a message: join the gender division in 16 days of activism against GBV from day to day. Okay, I won't mention that. Under the theme Unite, Invest, GRZ.
24th to the 4th.
Unite, Invest to prevent violence against women and girls. I accept that. I accept that. That's true.
Before
That's
we
true.
go, for the past 2 years, I've worked with GIZ
Yeah.
and gender division and my other name, I don't want to name it,
Yeah.
on this same project on 16
Yeah.
days of gender. So one of the reasons is, so what's the problem with that
No,
message?
there is no problem with that message, okay? That's the thing. You're always assuming that there's a challenge. Yeah?
Because you were starting that.
I read
Okay,
it.
so let's get
Tell
to
me.
let's get.
Yeah,
Why did you read that message?
Why?
Why did I read the message? Okay. Laz and I, we were speaking before the podcast started. I was like, oh, I've received the message. It was just about like 30 minutes ago I received
Yeah.
it, right? I was like, okay, gender-based violence, it's a problem in our country. It's always happening. Then now we look at the way gender-based violence is looked at. I've always said a man hitting a woman is something that you shouldn't even do in the first place, okay? First of all, physically, she's not as strong as I am. She won't be quicker and she won't hit harder compared than I would do, okay? Any guy that beats his woman or any woman up is just some crazy dude. You have to walk out. But we never look at it. Here's the thing. We've always said there are men out there that are raised to say, you can't hit a woman.
No matter what.
No matter what. And then there are psychopaths out there. We always forget there are psychopaths
Exactly.
out there that don't care. And then they'll be like, oh no, since we're living in a equal 50-50%, 50-50 world, right? She hits me with a cooking stick. Bam!
What do you do?
Automatically, they say, by law, that's self-defense now, right?
Yeah.
You can hit her back. But just because of my moral compass, I know the damage I can do to this girl, I will not do it. Even though she hit me, I'd rather walk away. But there are some girls there, there are some guys there who just don't care.
Psychopaths,
Even
for
though
that matter.
we've seen guys stabbed in their sleep.
Yeah.
He's sleeping, the wife just comes, the knife, pam, pam, pam. And automatically, when you put it out there, no, there's a reason why he was stabbed. He was abusing her.
That's nothing, man. I've
You
heard
understand?
stories where the guy's sleeping, then she put acid on him while he was
Yes,
dead.
but
Like,
guess what? When you put it out like that, they always assume, there's always a justification for the ladies. Oh, for the woman to behave like that, the man had it coming. There's
When-
something the man did.
When a man...
But if it's vice versa, oh no, man, that man is just plain evil. He's just the devil. There's nothing to it.
When a man hits a woman, it's not considered news. When a woman hits a man, it's considered news. There's a saying somewhere on the streets. You know why? You know why?
Why?
It's because of the cases. First of all, it goes back to 16 days of gender activism
Yeah.
against SGBV
Yeah.
between women and girls. One, because we have very high cases up to now. We have a huge SGBV crisis in our country. If you looked at the report from the police from last year, or just look at the last quarter, and you see the number of women who have actually had violence happen to them, they are extremely high, and the sentencing rate is extremely low. I don't want to give figures, but you can tell that you find that out of the 4,000, 5,000 cases, for instance, reported, you find that it's less than 200 that are male. So you find that that's the reason why we're having 16 days of gender activism. It's because there's still a crisis. Why I said that a woman being hit is not news is because it happens all the time, so much so that a woman reporting it is not special. But when a man reports it, it is special. So if I were you and you know that men are being abused and there are problems, I would encourage you to continue reporting this to the right authorities,
Which
so
they
that
should do.
you seek help, so that you can also have these conversations. But if men also who are going through violence are not reporting, you cannot then come here and make it a comparison against what women are going through.
You know why? You know why men barely go to the
There are
police to
reasons.
report GBV is because the police will laugh at us. You're allowing your woman to hit you like that? Are you even a man?
Exactly.
So that's the reason why not many men actually go to the police. You might find
That's
there are lots
your-
of cases of GBV on men, but because of the embarrassment that they
We
face
just
towards
hide them.
from their family and their friends and the police as well. So this is why they barely speak out, and this is why there are so many suicides, because what she abused me emotionally, I am financially broke. So at the end of the day, men decide, you know what, even if I go to these guys to solve my problems, it will not happen. So what do? Let me just off myself. So if we're talking about ratings, we are talking about suicide rates. Which one is higher, male or female?
Male suicide rates are higher.
Exactly,
But,
because society laughs at us.
And
But
besides-
then let's not
besides-
even talk about society. It's also male Like, guys, you're trying to make it seem like men themselves. You guys are the ones who do not talk about what you're going through.
No, you know why we don't talk about it?
Can I say something?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Because I feel like there's a lot of pressure on men on how to be a man nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Because if we go to the police and report the same situation, right? Like he said, they're going to laugh at you. Like,
You're
bro,
emasculated immediately.
Exactly. So it would be very embarrassing for himself. Like, damn, I'm supposed to be the man.
They laugh at you, but when women go and report cases, they're told, first of all, he couldn't have raped you because he is your husband. Second, he is disciplining you because he's your spouse, he's your partner. Those are things that are told to women. They are sent back because what happened to them in the confinements of their own matrimonial home, culture, society expects it to happen.
Which I understand. You can go ahead.
How about those instances? Because very interesting. I've also heard personally a lot of instances whereby women take back their reports or basically just turn around and say, no, I want
drop their charges.
Why?
I want to drop the charges.
Why?
I don't know. That's why
I can attest as a woman who was also not a victim. Since we're getting into 16 days, we call it survivor.
Yeah.
As a survivor of SGBV, I also, at my young age, I had a case. I also withdrew it because justice also doesn't come for women. There's a difference between women reporting something has happened and actual justice being given. So you can go into court where we're paraded, we're embarrassed, we're belittled. When I was in court, they asked me what outfit was I wearing? What? Like, oh, you were wearing a boob tube.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the right thing for a woman to wear? So you find that we are character assassinated in these places. The fact that a woman has reported that violence has happened does not mean that it equates to justice. That is why we have high numbers of women retracting their problems once they report it. Because why should I be in court? By the way, these court cases do not take 2-4 months. Sometimes they actually drag along because you know our court system. So why should I have 3 years of my life on pause, going back to court and reliving this hell that I went through when justice is not going to prevail?
You can just leave the relationship then. You can just really leave the relationship.
I was going to get to that.
Women are not only attacked by men in relationships with them. Let's not forget that. Women attack. It's not just a man who's in a relationship with you. That is another thing about SGBV that is also not accurate.
But I've got something here to say. Something we talked about again, all right? Study has also shown that women have got, females have got whether marriage or just relationship, okay? Women have a challenge of leaving abusive partners.
Why?
Well,
no, we'd like to find out from you.
We would like to find out why. Because their girls are found. Why don't you leave this guy? Oh, it's just going through
3 years.
time.
Don't forget,
he's been beating me. He's your boyfriend. He's not supposed to be hitting you anyway.
It's supposed to report
It's a relationship.
It's
if
like,
not report, leave. But
you think it's easy to leave?
Know your worth. If you know your worth, you can just get up and leave.
This coming from men who are barely unable to complain about what they're going through, that's a little rich. Because let me tell you, there are different things that happen to women when they're in relationships. Yeah. It's manipulative. It's the abuse is not just physical. It's also emotional, manipulative. There are things like Stockholm syndrome that women go through. It's difficult for you.
And it's also exciting.
The other thing, that's why I, as a proud feminist, I'm always telling women to get their own bag, because one of the reasons that men abuse them is because we have no economic muscle in a relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody who feeds you, pays your rent, who gets everything for you, he feels entitled to your body and who you are. So it's difficult for you to leave, because then you ask, what happens to me? Majority, I'm not even going to lie, majority of your parents would have been divorced in these current times, but because back in the day women had less education than men, it's the reason that most of our grandmothers, our mothers stayed in these relationships. Men are always the ones who talk about how, back in the day it was beautiful. My parents were married for 40 years. Your mother had nowhere to go. Your grandmother had nowhere to go. Because back then, as you talked about feminists fighting for equality, back then there was nowhere for her to go if she was an orphan. She's not going back to the village when she's been brought into town, and she can't leave her children. So you find that in each stage of evolution, there are different problems that even as men and women do, we fight. We have different cases at the end of the day. So for me, I never blame a woman who can't leave because you don't understand the situation. 2, you don't understand the manipulation and gaslighting that the person is doing to her. Or 3, you just don't know how her mental state is. So for me, I would never blame somebody. I feel like leaving a relationship that's toxic, the first step is somebody doing it on their own. You can't tell anybody.
Okay, so I would like to say something. It's amazing that this day and age, women are actually getting the education that is needed so that they can have their own money to spend and do whatever they want. That is beautiful. That is amazing, you know. But one thing that I usually face when women actually do excel is that now they tend to disrespect the man. You know, at the end of the day, I have heard stories so many times that women who actually have their own businesses, right? Women who have been promoted in companies tend to actually cheat more or tend to actually disrespect the man in the relationship and tend to leave. So that is them getting an education is amazing. It's beautiful. I like it. I urge all women to actually get an education. But the fact is that they should not use that to now compete with a man. They should use that now to say, okay, this man is abusive. What do I do? Let me leave, find the best person so that we can actually grow together, have a beautiful family, and, you know, move forward and have a bright future. That's the goal. That's what the goal is supposed to be in a relationship. Not I'll stay single for the rest of my life because men are trash. That's not what it's supposed to be. And I'm not supporting men that are actually abusive. I am not supporting that. I say that men who are actually abusive are the weak-minded creatures in this world. Men's Conference does not support such, but the fact is that there are women also out there that actually tend to push buttons, and they should know to say, okay, if this man tends to lay a finger on me, I will leave, which I understand to say they are unable to leave because of certain situations or be sent back to the village. And this is why feminism is here today, so that they can teach women to actually opt to have options, I should say, whether to stay or to leave and chase the bag, which is great. But it seems that this modern, not the feminism that you are studying or that you are advocating for, but the feminism of today,
there are levels
is that it is messing up lots and lots of women out there.
Yeah, because
Maybe on the right side of feminism.
I don't even want to claim that title, because at the end of the day, I'm here to support my women. And one of the things is that feminism varies to every individual.
And that's what I said earlier.
You need to accept every woman's story and how they wish to share that story. I'm never going to be the one going to say, oh, that girl on Twitter is so loud, she's a horrible feminist, just because I don't like how she shares her truth. And that's the thing that men do. So I wanted to tell you, a few years ago, I had a tooth removed, and then I had to get dentures, and then they had to put these metals in my mouth, right? For the first 3-4 days, it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I could feel them every time I opened my mouth.
Yeah.
But then a month later, I could not feel them. The point I'm trying to make is that women are going to make more money than you. Because as a man, you are used to getting more money. Once you're in a relationship with a woman who actually makes more money than you, it will be uncomfortable for a couple of weeks.
You know why it's uncomfortable?
But then you are going to, because you are not used to being at the
No,
bottom.
Men are not
By bottom, I'm not saying the bottom of the pyramid. I'm saying the bottom of the bed.
finance.
Because I feel like the more money a woman makes, the more disrespectful she'll become.
Yes,
Especially
I feel like then I should not give, as a man, why should I limit my money just because you're making less money?
Nobody's talking about limiting your money.
So why don't you look for women? Why don't you look for women with less money? Then you'll be happier. Why do you want to chase for women you can't afford?
Let's hear what he has to say.
Women you can't compete with. Over my own money.
Okay, wait.
Over my own money. I should limit. Yes, I encourage men to say that, so women can also step up.
Okay,
but I am not going to limit my finances just because you can feel like a man.
No, we're not saying you do. We're not saying you do.
So it's either you date your younger women who do not have the money you can't compete with, or if you're coming to a woman who is already established and set, you better find your space in that corner and you better get accustomed to it.
But do you also understand that? Okay, this is one thing that bothers me a lot about when people get the whole finance. Do you understand that getting money is not a constant. You're not always gonna be at that level. You might have gotten a good promotion today.
Yeah.
2 years from now, you might lose your bag.
Hey,
does that
I'm broke right now. Yeah.
Does that mean that you're also now gonna start searching for people in that financial tax bracket?
But that's what
or whatever?
feminists teach people, right? Feminism, when it comes to money, it's all about I bring my share, you bring your share, we work together. Actually, if one thing that feminism does, it actually reduces the burden, the economic burden on men, and you guys know that.
If feminism pushes that narrative, I feel like you're supposed to be. When it comes to relationships, I feel like money. I say this because of my environment. I'm a product of my environment. I believe we're all products of where we come from, of our experiences. So from my experience, I just feel like money should not really be the main thing that you should center your relationship around. But I feel like it is. That's what is done.
I didn't say that. Feminism. He did.
No, that's the
ones who brought the notion of money.
No. Because
that's the picture. Yeah, because you said it. Because you said it. You're like, I'm not gonna. What did you say?
Because
you're not gonna reduce yourself.
No.
You're on the lower side of the bed. How come
no one talks about it when men have more money in a relationship?
Because the man is meant to be the provider.
So if you're in a relationship with a woman and you don't have money, you failed, right?
Yes.
Because listen, I don't have a problem
you
with
failed, yes.
As a man, right?
As a man?
Yes, because men are meant to be providers.
Then you better check yourself if that's how you push yourself.
No, that is how society is. That's
does
how
that
men
make
are
it
built.
right? Does that make it right? Is the question.
Listen.
Does that? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
A man is supposed to have more money than a woman, right? But does that make it right that society thinks that?
No, because I believe that we don't have a problem with a woman making more money than a man. But I feel like the more money she makes, the more disrespectful she'll become a lot down the line, especially if the man is doing less than her. Because women are biologically designed to look for the best. And men are biologically designed to look for the woman that they think will be submissive and be able to take care of them when they need to. So I feel like nowadays, certain women, the more money they make, the more disrespectful, the more they're likely to cheat.
Do you know what a submissive provider is?
Yes, I do.
What is a submissive provider?
I've never. Okay, first of all, here is the situation. Okay, I find it quite ironic that what's so funny when a man is making money. The first thing he thinks of is, I want to start a family.
Yeah.
I want to have everybody to get a piece of this cake that I'm making because I'm killing it out there. Immediately, a woman starts making money. I'm a strong and independent woman. It's so funny when you guys make money, the concept of family literally dies. You know why? Because it has come to my understanding that when women make money, when they excel, they don't see the need of a family. Feminism has been pushing, you're a strong and independent woman. Imagine if men were told, bro, you're now a billionaire. Strong and independent, don't get married, don't have any kids.
Yeah.
You understand?
But why are they called strong and independent?
But here's the thing.
Wait, that tag, why is it like that?
Yeah.
You guys brought it up.
Because you guys, men, no woman ever came to say, no man.
Because we didn't have the financial independence for years. That's why when a woman says, I'm strong, it means that I'm above the power that society wants to put to install in my partner for me. I'm stronger than that. I'm my own person. Independent, I do not have to come to you to ask for money.
For sure.
Even the Israelites, they were living in Egypt for years and they were slaves. The first thing they did when they got out of Egypt is probably explore the air. If you are living
most of them wanted to go back.
A bird born in a cage thinks flying is you know that saying, a bird born in a cage thinks flying is illegal. We had not in a long time women did not have these pleasures of actually entering an office and competing with men and getting the same jobs. This thing started in the late 80s, 90s. I have all this silly analogy I usually use about KK and the independence struggle.
Can I ask a question?
But
since you're talking about jobs, right? So would you say that a woman will work the same job as a conductor?
There are women who can hold, and they're female conductors.
You see, you're asking. We haven't seen them.
I've seen one once. I've seen that. But don't forget that. But don't forget that. Is it just 5-6 years ago that they were celebrating the first female aircraft pilot in Zambia? something that happened a long time ago in other countries. We're celebrating it because women are finally breaking into these
I don't
spaces.
think 10 years ago, women were told you can't be a pilot.
Nobody told that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's been also discovered.
It's about opportunity.
No,
as
it's
well,
not even
my
opportunity.
bro.
You know, actually, you know what? I think let me bring this down. It has been discovered that women are more selective in careers compared to men.
Yep.
Why?
Here's the thing. It's not even about opportunities. You may say that in the 70s, 60s, 80s, for sure. We agree with that. That was messed up. But in today's time, like he just said about being a conductor. I don't know how many women would actually want to do that. Even just in issue of construction. You understand? Here's the thing. Women, it's not even about opportunities anymore. You tell me opportunities that women have that women don't have in today's time. We're not talking about the 70s. In that women don't have that men have. Which opportunities?
But that's
exactly?
what I was telling you, that we're slowly breaking into these
Yes,
spaces.
but the one you
10
said
years
about
ago,
a pilot.
I was giving not a pilot. I said an army pilot.
Yes,
You know what I mean? I didn't say a commercial pilot. I'm sure there are a lot of commercial pilots all over Africa that are female.
For sure,
But
for sure.
my point, what I was also trying to say is that don't forget that we're finally entering these spaces. 10 years ago, we did not have any female fuel attendants. But you can go to all these different fueling.
Because the economy, I mean, futani, not because
No.
I don't think
No.
BP filling station would say, you know what, we don't want female attendants. No, I think it was
Some
there
stations
was-
actually only hire women.
exactly.
there
'Cause
were
you know what I think
those
about it? Women have a tendency of looking down on certain careers because
That
they
is
believe
not
it's beneath
true.
them.
No, that's
That is not true.
Conductor. That's why women can't be
Beans.
conductors. It's they will
You-
not.
if you want- if you want-
all these
if you
things.
want money,
women are selective.
If
Yes.
women are no longer selective, finally we've been given the opportunity. Back in the day, think of all the professions that women had. Most of our women were you only had to be either a teacher or a nurse.
Yes,
Most
yes.
that. Most of our family, those are the things. But now we're being given the opportunity to diversify and do whatever. I mean, I do not even know how to describe.
Women were never
it.
given an opportunity to be fuel attendants.
So wait,
No,
you're
because
talking about
those were no, because there were. Don't forget, there were also certain gender roles that were left for. These are a male job. This is a female job. Don't pretend like you don't know that happened.
No, we do know, but here's the thing.
They'll be
I,
like,
for one, I know
even you'll be
women
like,
are
oh,
cherry picking.
Mkazi.
Women want, women want office
in
jobs
this
with an
economy,
aircon.
in this economy,
you're prompted
at
by
23,
economy.
Just one- let one talk.
In this economy, at 23.50, the kwacha, you think a woman is picky about what she wants.
That's
If,
not
if
picky.
those are the kind of women you attract,
Yeah, but no.
let's start there.
It's because
That's
the economy has
problem.
gone bad for now. But imagine if the economy was actually not, let's not say thriving, but it was just favorable in
we would
short.
all have options. You two would have an option.
Exactly,
of what
but
you want.
here's the issue.
You can be a
Even
gamer
before,
too.
let's go 4 years ago. 4 years ago, when the economy would say, okay, it was better than it is today. Let's face it, there was still no women conductors then. All right?
Why do you
And
want
there's
them to be conductors?
No,
Is my
that's
question.
an
you said,
analogy.
you said like women and men are equal.
You are saying,
Yes.
You're saying
Women
women and
and
men
women
are equal.
cherry pick the careers.
Look, there are certain things that women cannot do. Just admit it.
They don't
Even
even
there are
want
also
to do
certain
it.
things.
But
There are certain
listen,
things
I even
I
mentioned
cannot
it
do that
about
a woman can do.
You also know when it comes to our biological composition, we're different people.
Very much.
That's why when
Thank
you
you for
talk
putting that
about when
out.
you talk about equality, you always have to go forward and talk about equity. Equality is putting everybody in a room, but equity is making sure that people who do not have are able to still watch the television if the television can be seen. That is where it comes to. Equality is a man and a woman are both competing for something, right? But equity is realizing that, for instance, if all of you are able to finally run the race, well and good, congratulations.
Yeah.
But then equity means, what if somebody does not have the running shoes
Yeah.
that are needed?
Yeah.
So those are also things that are put into conversation when we're having talks about certain things. So for instance, this whole thing about, I've even forgotten. So even, what were you talking about?
We're talking about equality.
So even all these things about carrying bricks, biologically I'm not made up like that.
But why is it that
But feminists
females
don't sing it
always-
like that,
They
though.
don't say it like
If,
that.
You
know?
just say what a man can do, a woman can do.
No,
You
what
don't
a
say
woman can do, I can't do.
Yeah.
What
the
can't
thing
you
is that
do? What can't you do?
Give birth. We
but
cannot.
that's biological. That is not even. That is not.
Exactly.
That
We
is not
cannot
even
give birth.
something
You know-
worth.
you
We're
know-
not nature as at heart.
That is not even something worth arguing about,
Exactly.
guys.
Yeah,
Biological.
but
so
here's
that's
the
why
thing.
I
But-
didn't bring it up.
Yeah, but-
Exactly. But this is why men are not okay. If there was a there are kindergartens out there, right? Would you actually trust your child? Would you actually trust your child to attend an all-male kindergarten or an all-female kindergarten school? Which one would you actually
What does
pick?
that mean? Meaning, I don't understand.
Teachers,
Let's
the
see.
kids,
Who would you trust?
everybody
Who would you trust?
around your kids.
I was raised in a house where men and women contributed equally, so I don't
No,
say
no,
that.
But you have
So
to pick
good.
one.
You have to
Who
pick
would you
one.
trust?
Who would you trust?
Why should I?
Taking your child to an all-male kindergarten school or an all-female
Where the teachers
kindergarten
are male.
school?
Which one is closest to my house?
No, it doesn't matter which one is
You know
closest
what
to your
I mean?
house.
Okay,
Because
okay.
those are now petty comparisons.
Okay,
that
let
I
me,
No,
don't
it's
know.
not
okay, let me
a
ask you a question.
comparison.
And
Let me
I
ask you
feel
a
like
question.
it's
You're dodging
bigger
the
than
question.
that.
Let me ask you a
No.
question. Okay, let me ask you a question.
First of all, I don't even have children.
Let him ask.
Okay,
no,
between-
we're not saying it's not about children. Okay, go
Between
ahead.
the two genders, who's most likely to be more pedophiles, men or women?
Huh? Pedophiles.
Yes.
But
Between
mostly
the
we know
genders.
that it's usually it's white males, by the
No,
way.
no,
but-
first of all,
We're not talking about race here. We're not talking about race.
You
We're
all
talking
know
about
that.
genders.
You all know that.
Because
We're
there's
talking
no-
about
That,
genders.
I think we know
So we
that
know.
because that's what's been told to
Male,
us.
men,
But there could be
men.
things that are happening behind the scenes
Yeah.
that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Because and you know why you wouldn't get to know about the other side of the story? It comes back to what we were saying earlier on. Men don't feel like they need to put out what they go through because nobody really listens. You know, if a
one
guy
cares,
goes
man.
if a guy goes and says
Why
no,
don't you care
the
then
first
as men?
no, listen, check. If a guy goes out and says no, the first time I ever my aunt,
Yeah, it was my aunt.
cousin,
Yeah.
you don't have those conversations, but they're real. They're
Yeah.
happening even today. Even today. So
Yeah.
it's something that we should
Can
be aware about.
can I say something though?
Go ahead.
I have raised my platform because when I started Zambian Feminist, it was all about showing the inadequacies that men bring to the table, right? And showing all these are the problems that men do to women. But the more I grew the platform to where it is now, I realized instead of me focusing on what men are doing wrong, let me now highlight what it is that women are doing and where then men come into play. So the whole idea of my feminism, even the posts you read, I write about my experiences as a woman and how it's translated to the male side. And then I tell women, you are now boo-boo the fool. You know what I mean? Because I'm not there to attack the men at the end of the day. I'm there to show this is what this man did in my life and well and good, but this is what I did and this is what you should do as a woman. So my point is that for me, I just don't like it when men have all these problems and they want to come onto female and feminist spaces to air their frustrations when they do not have the capability to create their own platform, for instance, like men's conference. Why should it be that if something is happening to men, you want to come and cry on our space? Women have worked so hard to build that and make it about ourselves.
Wait, let her finish talking. Just let her
That's
finish
why
talking.
even my Saturday talk, it's called a therapy session because I am not doing content for men. I am doing content for women and I'm using our own experiences to build us up. So if a man has a problem, it's better men deal with the problems with men. If you start, 2 days ago, there was a whole conversation of, nobody has made a mention of Men's Day. What are men doing for Men's Day? That's the question. Why should you come on female platforms to complain about Men's Day?
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I love what you've said.
Yeah.
You know
That's
why?
the truth.
You know why? First of all, feminism would have never existed with the help of men. And in fact, without men instigating it.
I would be offended if I had not heard that before.
Yeah, but listen, let me explain it to you. John Rockefeller, when he... Rockefeller, whatever his name is, right? When he said he wanted a society of workers and not thinkers, right? He said, how can we increase our taxes, collecting tax?
Yeah.
By letting the other half of the population come into the work sector. For him, it was just business. You understand? Then he said, so how are we going to do it? Let's just push women's movements. This is what they're doing with the other movements of today. You know, understand? They just fund them. So when you say men haven't built anything, men haven't created spaces, women have worked really hard to create spaces. Let's say when you tune into TV, how many talk shows do you see which are geared towards women? There are quite a lot. How many NGOs are geared towards the girl child compared to the boy child? There are very many. And you know what's so crazy about that? Women will say, oh no, we worked really hard for those NGOs to happen. At the end of the day, if you look at the people who started those NGOs or who funded those NGOs, it's usually men. So when you put it out there to say women worked really hard, we all worked hard for women to have a voice. It wasn't women who just woke up and started demonstrating. A man had to bring you out there and say, hey, listen, you may
spaces.
have. Exactly.
Oh, wait. First of all, I still think that your ideologies on the women's movement are so far-fetched.
I wish we can continue this conversation, but apparently there is no time. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Already? It's been an hour already.
Yeah, it's already been an hour. So I'll definitely...
We even went off topic.
I would love to actually close the show, but before I actually do that, I'd love to actually read a message so that you guys can definitely contribute on this same message. Yeah. So I know, right?
My goodness.
It was heated.
There was so much to say.
But it says, hi admin, hide my ID. I'm dating a girl from Lusaka. We've been together for about 3 years without her working, and all was just okay till she started working in December. She told me
that's not a true story.
She told me they are not allowed to use their personal phones at work unless at lunchtime, which is from 13 hours to 14 hours and 17 hours. The knocking off time, I was okay with it, and all was okay. She could only communicate at the time, but as days goes on, she stopped communicating, especially on knocking off time. On Monday, she went for work as usual, 17 hours she knocked off and never communicated to me. I decided to call her at 17:10. She had to cut my calls twice. I called back. She stopped picking my calls from 17 hours. Whilst I was calling her non-stop till 19:30, then I decided to call her mom home, and she said she's yet to be home until 40 hours. Then she beeped me. I called back. She never picked again till 21 hours. Meanwhile, she only takes 2 hours from work. That's Woodlands to Mississippi. She video called me and seemed unconcerned over her reaction till I asked her, and she said she had to put the phone on silent after she rejected my first calls because she was in a meeting, and after that she had to put her phone on silence in her bag till she got home. She didn't touch her phone. Then I asked, why didn't you either drop me a text or call me? After knowing that I was calling, she was just quiet, smiling. I got upset on her. I said, okay, we'll talk later, and I slept in the morning. She started blaming me that why did you talk to me? Why did you talk to my mom? She talked a lot to me, and she blocked me on app. We both went mute. After 2 days, she wrote me a text that she's done with me. How do I deal with this? I love her so much.
Well, can I go first? No, Fubwe, you seem to have something to say. You can go first.
Okay. I didn't really. I was still thinking about it. But to be honest, as a man, just take what has been dished out and just keep it going, man. Like, one thing you can't do is you can take the horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink water. If you have to beg for somebody to communicate, and you feel like they are not reciprocating, like of course, going offline on your partner for that long, it's a big deal. And for you to just pick up like nothing had happened, it just shows that the person doesn't really value what you have together. And as the message was going, I'm not even shocked that at the end it has come to a point where she wants to leave. And I think it brings your point back. Maybe she met a guy with a more masculine frame, a better financial frame. But, as a guy, and this is just advice to the guys, man, the game is the game. You just have to keep it moving. Like, value yourself as an individual. You can't, if someone has made it clear they don't want to be with you, keep it going. Like, it's not for you to convince them to be with you. You just keep moving in your path, and whoever is meant to be with you is going to follow suit.
Amazing. Zambian feminist?
For me, I'm like, it started the story with, she finally started working.
Yeah.
That's already giving us, this is a problem. She's got a job now. All of a sudden, she's going to have her own personality and her own voice. I mean, I think I'm a weird person. I believe in work hours, 8 to 5. I rarely talk to people,
Yeah.
not even my own partners or in relationships, because I feel work is work. I'm giving my time there, I'm making money there.
Yeah.
So, but then the problem for these ones, it's almost like, oh, it's a issue of trust, but it's only because she's finally gotten a job. So for me, I feel like this story is already biased.
Wow!
It's already biased.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I'm going to say that is going to be a redeeming quality for
Yeah.
her. Because I mean, even her, since she's already been the one who's cutting the phone or not
Yeah.
picking it, I feel like this is the problem of communication within a relationship. But just because your girl is working doesn't mean you have to check up on her every 2 hours. Man, I find that irritating.
Don't you think from that message you could spot a cheat?
Huh? That's why I'm saying that there's no redeeming quality even from this one. I mean, if she's cheating, she's not cheating smart either. Maybe it's her first thing. Maybe she doesn't want to. Like, let her go if she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
That's also the other option.
Amazing. That ranting guy, 1 minute.
Bakalume, this is why I say you do not build a woman that's not your wife. You understand? You dated this girl for 3 years. You were helping to build her. Maybe it would have not even been, maybe she should have never got that job that she's now having, that she's using as an excuse to talk to you from time to time. If it wasn't for you, you helped her get to where she is, but at the end of the day, she's not your wife, fam. And she's not tied down to you. So she has the right to leave you. The biggest mistake you did is building a woman that's not your wife. You understand? And what I'll say for sure is this, fam. The girl might have been busy, might have been whatever, but let's face it, the girl just doesn't care. If she was busy, there's that car. On my phone, I have that car, busy messages that you can just click as an option. Busy, working. She could have done that, but she decided not to. One thing I know for sure is this: when a woman cares, no matter how the world is falling apart, she still finds gaps and spaces to get back to you if she cares. Your girl doesn't care. I hope you learned your lesson. And for the other guys out there, if she ain't your wife, it's not your duty to be her father, my guy. Otherwise, that's all I'm going to say. As simple as pie.
Well, I think that before she got the job, right? Probably maybe there's certain things that used to go on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Then now that the fact that she makes her own money, she has now financial freedom. She's got more options now. She's out in the world now,
Exactly.
and she's like socially she's encountering different men every day. So she's like, oh, so this is the best I can get. So she'll start comparing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So as he said before, you need to know your worth. I mean, if you can't keep her, you can't keep her, bro. Just walk away. There are plenty of other options out there. So don't limit yourself. So that's what I'm saying.
What I would say is that as a man, you need to increase your value. You know, if she didn't want you, just leave. Just accept it that, okay, I might have done wrong. Because when a woman excels, you also need to excel higher so that you need to get the respect from her. Women crave a better man, not someone lower than her. It's either you're on the same level with her or you're either higher than her. So that she trusts in you to protect, provide, and to do all the necessary things that she needs. Because as a woman, she wants a father figure in her life. And that is you as either the husband or the boyfriend. So you need to learn from what you've just experienced. As men, we need to go through trauma in order to better ourselves. And for women don't need to go through trauma. Women need to be protected like an egg. So if she's, no, not true. Women need to be protected like an egg. So as a man, you need to go through trauma to actually better yourself. And this is why we've got people who have achieved better financial freedom in life. So as a man, just know what has just happened, learn from that experience, and tell yourself, okay, I've let her go. She's ended the relationship. Next time I get a girl, I'm going to excel and better myself, either through education, through money, through business, through your masculine frame. So you just need to better yourself as a man. So, bruh, just forget about her. So it's been fun, it's been great, it's been amazing. This episode was actually brought to you by Bongo Bongo. Bongo Bongo is actually a betting and entertainment company. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is Men's Conference Podcast on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. That is Men's Conference Podcast. Follow us on Facebook as well. That is Men's Conference Podcast. And like I said, click our link to play some awesome games like Aviator and Candy Crush to actually have some money. So it's been great. It's been amazing. I had Laz, that ranting guy, Fubwe, and the Zambian feminist right here. We out.